The most dangerous addiction in elite performance has no substance, no needle, no withdrawal. It's comfort. Every time you choose ease over effort, your brain treats that retreat as a reward, quietly hardening the loop before you know it exists. The people who fall hardest aren't weak, they're talented, and the thing destroying them feels indistinguishable from intelligence. Failure is loud. It leaves a footprint. But relief is silent. The real threat to an elite competitor is rarely a catastrophic collapse. It is the steady, highly justifiable pursuit of relief. This is not a motivational slogan about laziness. It is a hidden psychological pattern. When a high achiever decides to skip a grueling training block, they do not frame it as surrender. They frame it as strategy. They call it recovery. They call it balance, pacing, or maturity. Their own intellect works against them, constructing flawless, logical arguments to justify stepping back. This is how talented people protect their self-concept from the painful exposure of growth without ever recognizing the retreat. They are not choosing to fail. They are choosing comfort, disguised as wisdom. By the time the decline shows up in performance metrics, the neural habit loop has already hardened. The immediate reward of ease has quietly rewritten their standards. But why does the choice that limits our potential feel so perfectly logical in the exact moment we make it? The human brain is a prediction engine, constantly calculating the cost of survival. When a setback or plateau threatens your sense of competence, effort suddenly looks like a bad investment. Your brain reacts by searching for immediate proof that you are safe. This is where the trap closes. Every micro-avoidance triggers a hidden chemical transaction. The moment you opt out of a difficult task, your midbrain registers an unexpected wave of relief. This is a positive prediction error, a sudden dopamine spike that rewards you for what you did not do. In the short term, relief pays off faster than mastery. The brain's fast, automatic system, the ancient machinery designed to keep you alive, executes this bypass before your logical mind even registers the threat. This is temporal discounting at work. The future trophy, months away, is an abstract concept. The warm bed or the skipped session is a tangible reward right now. As you delay the hard work, that distant goal shrinks, losing its psychological force in the present. Repeated once, it is a choice. Repeated twice, it becomes a loop. The alarm goes off, the brain anticipates the pain of training, and the hand moves automatically to shut it down. The cue, the routine, and the immediate reward of ease lock together, hardening into a neural pathway that bypasses conscious discipline. You are not losing your drive. Your brain is simply optimizing for comfort. And this invisible script is quietly playing out in the lives of those we assume are unbreakable. A 17-year-old runner stands on a freezing track at 4:30 in the morning. For years, these brutal dawns were her advantage. She possessed the raw, obsessive drive that separated her from every peer. Then comes the first quiet compromise. It is not a dramatic failure. It is simply a decision to skip one early session to catch up on sleep. Her mind frames it as recovery, not retreat. Soon, late-night screen time and social demands drift into her schedule. By Wednesday night, her sleep drops to 5.5 hours. Her physical capacity erodes. She still shows up, but her training intensity quietly drops by 30%. The decline is silent. Talent still masks the decay. But the edge is already gone. The decay rarely stops with one person. In elite organizations, comfort is built directly into the system. High-performance programs quietly construct choice architectures where ease is the default option. They introduce recovery-only suites and soft lighting, framing these additions as state-of-the-art wellness initiatives. Behavioral defaults steer the group toward the path of least resistance. The language remains pristine. Leadership speaks of strategic load management, self-care, and mindfulness. The institutional vocabulary sounds advanced, even clinical. But beneath the sophisticated wellness rhetoric, collective performance metrics quietly erode. Nobody explicitly chooses to decline. Instead, the environment itself quietly lowers the standards, validating retreat under the guise of scientific balance. Softness becomes structural. For a veteran champion, the slide is different. It is a slow, weary surrender to the relief of a legacy. This performer already knows the exact exhausting cost of reaching the top. Yet, under the weight of accumulated years and minor injuries, their standard quietly softens. True mental toughness in this arena is the silent capacity to endure sustained pressure when the spotlight is dark. The turning point begins with a quiet, private admission. They have been hiding behind their past achievements. Discipline is not hype, it is a matter of self-respect. Standing alone in the empty gym, the veteran reaches for the heavy iron, choosing the sharp, familiar bite of physical discomfort once again. Gripping that cold metal tests his self-concept, not his muscles. The iron is a mirror. Elite performance is rarely a battle of raw pain tolerance. It is a conflict of narrative identity. Human beings act according to whichever self-definition feels most certain in the moment. When a competitor views themselves as a tired veteran who has earned the right to step back, every skipped session feels like a logical reward. But when their identity shifts from seeking comfort to choosing challenge, later decisions change automatically. The obstacle is no longer a threat. It becomes the very evidence of who they are. Once the challenge is woven into the identity, the brain stops calculating the cost of effort. It simply executes. This psychological pivot draws a clean line between real recovery and avoidance dressed up as wisdom. Real recovery is a physiological tool used to rebuild tissue. Avoidance is a mental shield used to protect a fragile ego from the exposure of failure. In the psychology of motivation, researchers distinguish between difficulty as importance, where a hard task proves the work is valuable, and difficulty as impossibility, where effort signals it is time to quit. When the veteran chooses the heavy iron, he forces his brain to accept difficulty as importance. He is not looking for a quick win, he is reclaiming his baseline. External rewards, the contracts and the applause, eventually lose their pulling power. Only intrinsic motivation, anchored to this redefined self-concept, sustains the work when the external comforts vanish. This shift is not a sudden flash of inspiration. It is a quiet, systematic process of psychological reauthoring. Number 17. Meatloaf with tomato glaze and green beans. Comfort is an active force. It actively shapes the trajectory of the next decision. Elite performance requires calibrated discomfort. It relies on the precise application of productive strain, separated from the quiet creep of avoidance. When pressure mounts, discipline is never a punishment. Discipline is identity maintenance. It is the daily, unspectacular act of protecting your self-concept under stress. The true danger of comfort is that it never arrives as a massive surrender. It presents itself in the smallest, most logical compromises. A slightly longer break, a minor adjustment to the training standard. Relief is highly persuasive precisely because it feels tiny, it feels harmless. But every micro-concession rewrites your neural baseline, quietly shifting what your brain is willing to tolerate. The slide toward average does not begin with a catastrophic collapse. It begins with the comforting whisper that a single minor retreat has no consequences. You do not notice the decay until the standard has already changed. Your deepest rival isn't another person. It's the quiet voice whispering that you've done enough. True excellence requires a ruthless, daily betrayal of your own comfort. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice to survive your own potential? Share your thoughts below.